Good morning and happy Monday to you. Welcome to Bootstrap Biz Advice Live, where I teach service providers how to work less and live more by leveraging tech and YouTube. We are about to hop into a new series on the channel talking all about different ways to grow your list, to grow your income. Now, you guys know that I absolutely love Flowdesk for my email marketing software. And so if you are in need of a software to help facilitate these strategies, then I would encourage you to go to lashondabrown.com/flowdesk to try it for free for 30 days and get 50% off your first year. So tomorrow we have our monthly workshop. And so I want to make sure that you guys know exactly what we'll be covering. So I want to play a quick ad and then we'll hop into the education. Jade Simmons is a world-class concert artist who's performed at the White House, the U.S. Supreme Court, and has been called a musical force of nature with an uncanny ability to connect with the sounds of today. Jade is also one of the rare six-figure keynote speakers brought in to add lasting value and transformation beyond the bottom line to companies such as Google, Zillow, QuickBooks, ExxonMobil, General Mills, and NBC Universal. On February 11th, Jade will be stopping by to teach our members about the anatomy of a five-figure keynote. Go behind the scenes to learn what makes companies willing to pay more for a stellar standout speaker. You'll also learn what differentiates speakers at different fee brackets and what organizations are most afraid of when it comes to booking a keynote. To become a member and secure your seat in class, visit bootstrapbizadvice.com. So I hope you guys can join us tomorrow for the workshop at 1 p.m. As long as you are a STAR student or a Bootstrap creator, you will have a seat in class. So we're going to be talking about 5 different ways that you can grow your small list in 2025. And so one of the things that I thought about was I'm hearing from a lot of different people that grow your list is a New Year's resolution. It's something you would like to try to tackle in this year so that you can see your income increase. Now, one of the main reasons why people are going after list growth in their organization is because lists convert higher than any social platform. It's something that you own. It's something that you can utilize for your own brand. And when there are outages, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, you can still contact your audience. And so you definitely want to make sure that you are building a list of some sort to begin with. But what tends to happen over time is even though you have that list sitting there, if you aren't promoting the list, then you're going to find that it doesn't grow that quickly on its own. Sometimes you can set it and forget it, but in many cases, you need to do things to draw a little attention to what you have to offer. So I've got 5 different strategies for you on the side. And as I share them, if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Don't forget, if you're watching this in the replay or watching this live, please make sure that you like it. If you like it, that helps push this video out in front of more people on YouTube to let the algorithm know that this was useful content. So the first idea that I have for you is to brand your newsletter community and post previews. So for example, if we were to go to my website right now, and you would look at the top part of my website, you are going to see a little button that says join the club. Okay. So if you see that button in the top right, that is for my newsletter. So one of the things that I have seen people start to do is to look at their overall brand and say, how can I create a name for my newsletter that is in alignment with what my business or what my service stands for? And so in my case, because I have Bootstrap Biz Advice as the name of the channel, it made a lot of sense to brand my newsletter something related to Bootstrap. So if I click on join the club, it's going to take you to a landing page. And so that landing page is where I share all about what the actual newsletter provides. So you want to make sure that people are aware of what they're signing up for if they're signing up for like a blanket newsletter. In a lot of cases, we leverage lead magnets. And so people know that when they type in their name and email address, they're going to get access to a resource. But when you sign up for a newsletter, it's important to kind of set the intention and give them the heart behind what the newsletter is going to provide. I've seen some people even include previews of previous newsletters that have been sent out, and others even incorporate testimonials. The biggest thing I want you to realize, and this is also part of another tip, is that the sign up for the newsletter has its own landing page on my website. So as you are looking at my website, it's not just that I have one little form on my homepage. I have an entire page dedicated to this. So when I am speaking, when I am sharing with a friend, how can I continue to stay connected with you? I can utilize this landing page and send them directly to the sign up page for the newsletter community. Now, when I talk about doing previews of your newsletter, what I mean by that is on other social media platforms, you can kind of tease out what your newsletter subscribers will be receiving. So you could say, here's some advice about 5 ways to grow your email list. If you are a part of the Bootstrap Club, you're going to get all these 5 tips in your inbox tomorrow. Make sure that you sign up at the link in the captions or the link in the comments if you're on LinkedIn. And so that is something that I have seen be really popular. It's not only do you brand that email list, but you also let people know what's being shared. Is it useful? How do people feel about it? And so if you incorporate that into how you share about your newsletter, you may entice more people to sign up for it. Okay, so the next thing is also going back to my site. You want to promote your freebie throughout your site. So there are so many different ways that you can do this. Like I said, on my own site, if we go back, I have a whole landing page for it. I have the button at the top. If we go back to my home page, there are different ways that I can draw attention, whether it's a button without even scrolling. I could do an embed form like this on the home page. And so you want to have multiple touch points for your newsletter or for your lead magnet throughout your site. I think a lot of times we think like, oh, I've already talked about it one time, and so it's simply not necessary. And I want to tell you that people are coming to your website from all different directions. They're landing on your content because they heard you on a podcast. They're landing on your content because they saw you in a YouTube video. And so because you don't know exactly what's bringing them to your website, you want to make sure that you incorporate that free resource throughout the site. So no matter where they're coming in from, they're learning more about you. If you have a blog, that's a great opportunity for you to share about that. I don't really talk about my blog too much, and we're about to do like a big overhaul with this. But if you look on the right-hand side, you can see that there is an opportunity for you to join the club in the sidebar of my blog. So whether you are coming in for a Canva resource or a Flowdesk resource, you are going to see that opportunity on the right side of my Squarespace website. And so by you having these multiple touch points throughout your site, you're going to increase the likelihood that people will sign up for it. One of the other places that I market my freebie is when people ask for speaker materials. They say, hey, we'd like to have you on our podcast. We'd like to have you come speak at our conference. What is the free resource that you want to promote? And so I make sure that I link to this on my actual landing page with all my speaker materials so that other people have an easier time helping to promote my free resource. You don't always have to be the person to drive traffic to your stuff. If you can leverage your network, if you can leverage, your customer base, different opportunities like conferences to get your free resources out there, this is a great way for you to grow. And so by you having this in so many different formats, you make it incredibly easy for people to sign up. Now, another example, if we go to the Bootstrap Biz Advice site, I can show you there. an opportunity as well. So one of the things that happens with the Bootstrap Biz Advice site is if you want access to the 5 workshop recordings that I have available for free within the app, then you can claim your free workshop bundle. And so I market it on the homepage of Bootstrap Biz Advice so that I can drive traffic to people who are interested in seeing how the app works, but I can also grow my email list at the same time. So sometimes getting people on your email list may just look like giving them access to things that your community has access to with the name and email. And so that is incorporated on the homepage there. And the last example I want to show you is within a shop. And so I did this a while back in PayHip. If you look on my shop, I actually have a free download alongside my paid resources. If you haven't considered promoting free resources in your digital product shop, that can be a great way for you to grow your email list. Maybe people hop into your shop and they aren't ready to buy just yet. If you have something available for free, then you can grow your list just by people who are kind of looky-loos trying to see what you have available. And so that is something that I include in the top left-hand corner of my PayHip shop, simply because you don't have to scroll to see that free resource. So on a cell phone, you're going to see the first 2 shop products. So I keep the free product first, and then I have another low-cost product right after that as a way to try to grow my passive income and also build my list at the same time. So these are multiple examples that I want to bring to your attention, but at the end of the day, you want to promote your freebie multiple times. Another question that I get is, should I be using a pop-up? To be completely honest with you, you need to test it out for yourself. Some of the settings can get pretty annoying for people who are coming to your website on a regular basis. And so maybe you can play around with the timing. Maybe it doesn't show every day that somebody comes to your website. Maybe it shows every week, once a week. And so once someone signs up, you can have that pop-up say, if they're already a subscriber, don't show this to them. So in my case, if I were to go to an incognito window, I believe I would be able to show you what the pop-up looks like on LaShondaBrown.com. There we go. Okay, so let me show you this as one more example. So I was able to design this within Squarespace, but you also have this option within Flowdesk as well. So there are pop-up forms that you can choose from within the Flowdesk form library. And so you can customize that as a way to promote things like I am here, where I'm promoting the Bootstrap Biz app. Okay. And so the same pop-up is going to send you to the app for you to claim that free workshop bundle. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. We're going to move on to number 3. Now, this is along the lines of the digital product shop that I just talked about. You can also refresh a lead magnet as a digital product. Okay. So say, for instance, if we were to go back to my landing page here for the YouTube passive income guide, let's use that as an example. So in this case, this is a very popular lead magnet that I have had for quite some time. Now, one thing that I could do to entice people who are connected with me, whether it be on LinkedIn or on Instagram, is I could say, hey, YouTube has changed a lot. So I am going to be taking this free resource and I am going to be updating it for 2025. If you want to get access to the previous version for free, you can still do that by signing up here. But if you want the updated version, then you can purchase it for pre-sale in my digital product shop. Just using that as an example. And so sometimes what's helpful with your lead magnets is if you create some sense of urgency, because if that resource is just always there, it's always available, what's really prompting people to take action in this moment? And so I think a great way for you to build up excitement is by you saying, hey, there's going to be a change happening in my business, whether it's a change in pricing or a change in the content or a glow up or an upgrade. These are great ways for you to build up some more excitement for your free resources and to get people to actually give you that name and email address that in the past have just been looking from afar. And so this is a great example. Ebooks have been very popular for a long time as a lead magnet. And so if you are finding ways that you can talk about your ebook in terms of what it will be, not just what it is right now, you can build up some excitement for your list. Okay. So those are just 3 areas right now. I want to go ahead and hop over to the comments. Let me know if this is helpful so far. I know that typically when I get like in the weeds with this stuff, you guys get really quiet. And so just let me know in the comments if this is helpful, if this is giving you ideas. And don't forget, while you are watching live, you can also like this video if you like it. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the comments before we do the last 2 strategies that I want you to try. And if you also have some questions for me about things that you could potentially do with your freebies, you can let me know in the comments as well. All right, fantastic. Good morning, Trisha. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Camille. So good to see you guys in the comments. Now, guys, I'm really not a sports person. I'm going to be honest with you. I had to be told that the Super Bowl was happening yesterday. And so if some of you have, the Super Bowl hangover, my heart goes out to you because I was not up all night looking at that. I just Googled this morning to see who won. But yeah, it is a start to the week. And hopefully the team you are rooting for won. And if not, no worries. There's always next year. So yeah, it's hysterical for me because I'm like, man, that's like a whole part of the world. I think the way that my friends describe it, it's like, oh, there's like a Kendrick concert going on and some football teams will be around. So that's how they talk about it. Okay, awesome. TJ said it's very helpful. It's just the setting up part for me. Okay, awesome. I can go into some more information about that. I think we're going to have time to talk about the actual setup within Flowdesk, if that would be helpful. Sweet deal. All right, so let's see here. I've got 2 more ideas for you. One is utilizing YouTube and the other is utilizing Instagram. So with YouTube, now I think this would be a fantastic strategy for those of you who are getting started with building your list. Okay, so we're talking like your list probably right now just contains like your mom, a few friends, maybe a few past customers. So if you are, in the very early stages of doing email marketing, I would encourage you to actually do a walkthrough of the resource itself that you are offering as a lead magnet in a YouTube video. And it doesn't need to be super fancy. But here's what I mean by that. When people kind of see the heart behind what you're doing, when people understand the detail that's included, then people are way more likely to take action and go like, man, she put a lot of effort in that. Or, oh, I didn't realize that this resource could tell me all of this. And so by you walking through the resource and the video itself, you're going to build up some excitement. So let me give you a quick example of what I mean. And this could go for any type of resource. I'll say, for instance, a previous idea that I've shared with you guys is creating an online quiz. So if you are leveraging a tool like Interact to create your online quiz, then you actually showing people, maybe not the whole quiz, but just how you set it up and what went into it and what people will learn after they complete the quiz. It's so easy for you at the end of that video to say, hey, the quiz is now live. If you want to take the quiz, the link is in the description. Okay. So by you bringing people along the ride in a YouTube video, you are going to help establish to that person that what they're going to receive is high quality because they've been able to kind of preview it before they even sign up. So say for instance, let me go into my Canva account and we are going to pull up the YouTube passive income guide that we've been talking about from the design side of things. Alrighty. And let me go ahead and share this tab with you. All right. So one of the things that I have seen people take advantage of when it comes to this resource is the fact that it's not just a one-page ebook. So when I created this probably 2 or 3 years ago now, one of the things that my friends would say is like, oh my gosh, this is such a thorough resource. Go ahead and pull that off the screen. There we go. This is such a thorough resource. Like, you should be selling this. And so sometimes you can entice people to download your free resource simply by showing them how extensive it is. So if I were talking in a YouTube video all about, what you can expect from the YouTube passive income guide, I could talk about the fact that one of the things that people say to me all the time is that they struggle with, how do I create YouTube videos if I'm nervous about being on camera? And so I could show them, well, hey, don't worry about that, because I've got content within the actual guide that addresses that problem. If you're camera shy, here's some ideas. And so by me showing them that the resource itself already contains information to help them address this problem right away, well, that in and of itself is going to help entice them to download this. You don't want to actually go page by page by page, because I think at that point it's like, oh, well, I already saw all the information. But even just seeing this view of the resource shows you like, oh my gosh, there's so much in there. And so I think when you create those graphics to promote your resources, if you have a fairly extensive ebook, by you just showing, even if it's super small, just showing those pages kind of fanning out and showing how extensive the resource is, it's going to encourage people to sign up with their name and email address. So if I were to create this, I could talk about, okay, why am I calling it the YouTube passive income guide? What about the imagery? Oh, well, these images are actually friends of mine, where I live. Back in the day, I did stock photography. And so these are some of the images that friends have taken of me or that I've taken of my friends, and kind of giving them that behind the scenes look into this resource. It really does help entice people. And so I would again say utilize YouTube as a way to walk through the resource, walk through your quiz, walk through your ebook, walk through, setting up your private podcast, whatever that looks like for you. But I think by you showing them this side of things, kind of showing them how the sausage is made, they are going to be so much more invested in what they're actually going to receive. So this is just one strategy. And so again, it doesn't have to be something that's like a downloadable resource like this in Canva, but I just want to kind of show you a practical application of what I'm trying to describe. All right. Here is the last bit of advice before I'm going to hop into the comments. I want you to utilize ManyChat with Instagram, with Carousel Posts, with previews. Okay. So let me break this down into the individual components. So for those of you who don't already know, ManyChat is a chatbot automation that allows people to get access to a resource by commenting a keyword on a piece of Instagram content, and then they are sent a DM with the link to the resource. Now, there's other things that you can do there. You can ask them for their email address first and then send them the link to the resource. But utilizing ManyChat with Instagram, in my opinion, is the number one way that Instagram can continue to be useful for you. Because what that's going to do is it's going to increase the traffic on your content, which will help boost it in the algorithm. And it's also going to eliminate some of those steps of friction that takes people from an Instagram post to signing up for a resource. Okay. So carousel posts are killing it these days. And I think the reason why is because people are craving storytelling and the slow pace of it all. Like, I still see that reels are performing well for people, but I'm really starting to see more and more entrepreneurs embracing these carousel posts and using them in creative ways. So I want to show you one of the Instagram accounts that I refer to a lot in my community. I actually met Maya last June, and I think she does a beautiful job of this on Instagram. And so let me see here. Okay, this is a great example. I think this might be a paid resource, but this will show you this strategy in motion. Okay, so if we are looking at how Maya is utilizing ManyChat with the carousel posts with previews, this is what I mean. So in this particular post, she's saying 5 content ideas for content that sells on your feed. So the content itself on her Instagram account is useful, but it's also kind of pre-vetting her audience by saying, if you're not interested in content marketing, you're not going to be interested in this post. Okay. So her first slide in her carousel post is making it very clear, this is what you're going to get out of this piece of content. Then she tells you these 15 ideas will last you a month. But if you want ideas that will last you 3 months, scroll to the last slide. So she is already teasing out the fact that this is just a fraction of what you're going to receive, in this particular post. If you click all the way to the end, then you're going to find even more resources for you to download. Okay. So the next slide after that, she starts to share, here are, 5 ideas. Here are 5 more. Here are 5 more. And they're pretty extensive ideas that you can leverage for content marketing strategies for your business. But in the very last slide, and I think you guys have seen this, there was a time where these last slides were like, oh, like and follow for more. But what I am starting to see more and more people do is give a preview of either a paid resource or a freebie in that last slide for them to say, what you've been reading so far was just a fraction of this whole thing. And if you want access to 400 more, in this case, hooks broken down, then this is what you need to do. And so she talks about what's included in it. It's 100 growth and conversion content ideas, 3 DM automation templates, 10 ChatGPT content prompts, and again, 400 more prompts. So you can see she makes it very clear what you need to comment in order to get access to this. And so in this case, you comment Vault for the link. And at the top, she says comment Vault for 5 free bonuses. And then no excuses, go out and create some conversion content. Okay. So this is just a really good example of someone walking you through the process of saying, hey, are you interested in this particular topic? Let me go ahead and deliver on the promise of this content. I'm going to start helping you in this moment. And with that last slide saying, hey, I know that that was helpful, but I can do even more than that. Why don't you go ahead and comment the keyword? So she is not the one going through here and responding to all of the people that comment keyword. That is what comment the keyword vault. That is what the ManyChat automation is doing. And so some of the people that utilize ManyChat not only use it to send the DM, but they send it to auto respond to people who comment the keyword. And so that keeps that traffic going on your particular piece of content. And so I am just seeing so many people utilizing Instagram as a way to vet their audience and make sure that they're getting in front of the right people and then funneling them to their own platforms saying, hey, this was cute. We connected here, but I'd much rather you be on my website. I'd much rather you be on my list. I'd much rather you be in my digital product shop. And then using that automation to get them where they want them to be. Okay. So if we were to review the tips that I gave you Remember that you can promote your freebie throughout the site, whether it is a pop-up or a landing page or an inline form. Make sure that there's multiple places that people are finding out about what your freebie is going to be. You can refresh your lead magnet as a digital product. And so in the process of you saying, hey, this particular resource is getting a refresh, if you want to still get the old one for free, go ahead and take action now before it goes in the archives. Or you can sign up to get the new version, the 2.0, pre-sale or, in the next couple of weeks, however you want to phrase that. Show that walkthrough of a resource in a YouTube video. Show people what went inside of you creating that. What are people going to receive? Even showing the tool that you're using to make it as a way to draw traffic to your affiliate link. So if you are using Canva, if you are using Hello Audio, if you are using Interact for your quiz, then by you showing them how you're practically using this, I've even seen people do this with courses. By you taking people behind the scenes of the tool you're using for your course, it's an easy way for you to promote your course. Again, don't forget to brand your newsletter communities and post previews of what people are going to receive, and leverage ManyChat with Instagram with your carousel posts and preview your content. Okay? So those are 5 strategies. And I will tell you first and foremost that by you liking these live streams, you are giving me an opportunity to do these pop-up, deep dives on various topics and to help my audience and just help people on YouTube in general come up with some practical ways that they can address leveraging technology to help them to live the life that they want to live. And so I just think that email marketing has been such a saving grace for me because it's allowed me to not have to post so often on platforms like Instagram because I can talk directly to my community through email. Now, we'll talk about things like how to get people to open your emails, how to increase your open rate, how to brand your emails. And so we're going to be doing like these mini tutorials, if you will. I did an Instagram post a few weeks ago to even preview the fact that I was a Flowdesk partner. And so in some cases, you may utilize the same strategy to grow your email list, but you can also do this to grow your affiliate marketing traffic on your affiliate links. So just be thinking about that as you are creating content for your brand. There's so many different applications that you can utilize to make this happen in your business. So what I want to do now is hop over to the comments. I know that TJ had a question about actually setting this up in Flowdesk. And so I am going to hop into a really quick overview of what Flowdesk actually offers. Again, you can sign up for that free trial. It's already linked in the comments and it is linked on my tools page. So every time I recommend a tool, you hear me drop a name, even if it's like a random one like Hello Audio, I have linked it on my tools page. And if I have an affiliate link, I've shared it there so that you have a quick place that you can go to grab that link, sign up and support the channel. Okay. All right. So let's see what is happening in these comments. Okay. So Camille says, I have a mini workshop freebie that is a little faceless, just the intro I'm on and the end, but I've been debating if I should re-record with my face. Any thoughts? That is a very good question. So I think in this case, Camille, if you have a workshop freebie that you've had for a while, that's, I'm guessing it's like a slide deck and you're talking over it, like maybe you introed it, went to the slide deck and maybe came back. Unless you are really showing people like what they're going to receive, I don't think that them knowing that they're going to see you in more of the video itself is going to immediately entice them to sign up. I think sometimes like when we just change the format of things, that doesn't necessarily boost more excitement. And so if you are going to re-record it, then I would say this will be an application of refreshing a freebie to get people excited. So you could say, hey, I've made some updates to my mini workshop freebie, and so I would love for you to check that out. Some new things that have been added that weren't addressed before are boom, 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 boom. So I think that's what I would say in that case, because I don't think just immediately re-recording it is going to boost signups. But if you let people know it's not just a re-record, it's an expansion on what maybe they've even previously already signed up for, then this will be a really good idea. I think another thing that we don't take into consideration is when people get a lot of value out of a particular freebie, they're also way more enticed to share that and market that freebie to their audience. A good example of that would be like free Notion templates or free Airtable templates. When people find a useful resource available for free, I have seen so many people say like, oh my gosh, you need to check out, Lex's Airtable templates are so helpful, like, and send the link out. I've done that so many times. And so I would encourage you, like, as you are thinking about developing these free resources, how are you setting them up to entice people to share the content for you without you even having to be in the room? And so that's something to be thinking about as well. Neil, you said, I don't like IG. Look, I'm telling you, the strategy works. And here's the other thing I will say about Instagram. This is just something that you may want to consider as well. For those social media platforms that you're like, hey, I see the usefulness. I don't want to dedicate that much time to it. It doesn't bring me joy. It can take a lot of work. One of the things that you can do is just pay to play. Like I've talked about this so many times where Instagram has become a pay to play platform. And so I have utilized, just boosting, a post every now and again just to get things going, just to brush off the cobwebs, get me in front of new people, because I can see in the insights of my content that even if it gets a lot of engagement, if it's just reaching people who are already following me, then my following stays stagnant. And so sometimes, you may want to leverage paid advertising as a way just to kind of stoke the fire a little bit. Okay. This is a great question, Camille. I'm so glad you asked. Do you purge your inactive people from your email list? Now, this is actually, and let's see here. I'm going to stop sharing Instagram. And I want to bring up something that is brand spanking new within Flowdesk. I think they literally just sent out an email about this. Okay. I'm going to show you guys. I'm testing some stuff with Flowdesk right now, so I'm like, can't show you that. Let's see here. I think I can show you guys from the email itself. All right. All right, marketing emails. And here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. Alrighty. So this is something that is brand new that has rolled out for Flowdesk. And this is called the concept of re-engaging your subscribers, okay? So what happens is when people are not actively engaging on your email list, maybe they have filtered your emails, maybe, your emails are hitting their promotion tabs and they're not actually opening them. Flowdesk has actually created some brand new workflows to help you to go into your account to filter out your emails to see who are some of those inactive people, who are the people that are still technically subscribed but not active, and re-engage them. And so this is a fantastic way for you to get that open rate up And if you're seeing that people are really not responding to that re-engagement sequence, then that's the point where you would actually purge them from your list. Because ultimately, what you want to be doing in your business is making sure that when you send your content out, that the people who are most interested in what you have to say are actually actively opening up those emails. Another thing that I have seen when you are building up your email list is that you want to be super specific with your segments. What I have seen some of my friends implement in their business is that when they are in sales mode, they are sending out much more email communication than they typically do with their email community. And so they create a whole different segment that allows people to unsubscribe from the sales emails without fully unsubscribing from your entire list. And so that's a really positive way that you can say, I want people to know that they have much more control over the content that they receive than they even realize. So let me show you another example of this on a friend's site. Okay. Okay, this is great. So what I am describing for you is actually called the preferences within Flowdesk. So I want to show you some examples of that. And let's see here. There we go. All right. Here is an example of what I am describing. All right. Make sure you guys can see this. All right. So if you guys look closely here, you can see what most interests you, my friend. And so even after you are sharing your resources on your website, whether it's linked in your emails, however you want to share that information, those different check boxes in the actual form itself, the preferences are actually segments on the back end of Flowdesk. And so what it's allowing people to do is to tell you, this is the type of content that I am the most interested in seeing. And so part of the reason why some people are inactive is that you're sending more generic information and they want to hear specifically, oh, I'm just interested in Canva tips. Oh, I'm just interested in YouTube tips. Oh, I'm just interested in Flowdesk, and whatever that looks like in your business. And so by you allowing people to opt in to different preferences in your forms, you will probably see an increase in your open rate because they've told you exactly what they want to see and they've told you exactly what they want to learn. And so that's just one example of what that looks like in Flowdesk itself. Now, one of the things that I was thinking of, and she's done a quick little refresh here, but my friend Hannah was one that came to mind who utilizes Flowdesk. And so what she's doing is she's saying, okay, well, what are some of the free resources that you're interested in? And so you can download the free trackers. You can start tracking your habits. You can download the freebie for Advent. You can download the writer's guide. And so on this one page that she's marked hannahbrenchercreative.com/freebies, you're able to see multiple different resources and then sign up for the ones that make most sense for you. When you sign up for those resources, you're going to be segmented as you come in. And so I think, as you are thinking about, okay, well, I've got people on my list that aren't really engaging, giving them the option to change their preferences might be a very quick way to get them back engaged. But again, if after, 90 days, 6 months, they're still not opening emails, don't be afraid to purge them from your list. They can always rejoin. Okay, so you can't sign them back up once they've gotten off your list, but they can sign themselves back up and confirm. Okay, let's see here. So we have got another question from Ami. Let's see here. When you upload a new freebie, how do you get it to your already signed up Flowdesk list? I've had trouble in the past getting their names a second time for a new list in Flowdesk. Okay. So what's happening when people are signing up for the free resource is you have to assign them to a specific segment. Once people are on your email list for a while, when you go into the back end of Flowdesk, you're going to see that the same person can be signed up for multiple segments. So you want to make sure if you're going to have multiple different resources, that each one has essentially their own folder or their own segment so that it still triggers that automation when people come through. Otherwise, if it's just a generic list without that, if they're already signed up, they're not going to get the email from you. And that's something that I had to learn in the early days of Flowdesk. And so that's really helped me. So I will let me sign in really quick and show you an example. And I guess, if we were going back to Hannah's site, like I said, all of her different resources, if we go back to that example, all those different resources, the same person could be interested in. The same person could be interested in tracking habits, that are interested in unplugging from social media. And so they're on her list. If you look in Flowdesk, it says all subscribers. But then as soon as you address segments, then you're going to see the fact that that same person can be signed up for multiple different things. So hopefully that makes sense. And then let's see here. If I go inside of my account, and we will just make a very quick, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I did a video about this a while back, but there are some new form types that could also boost some excitement for your email list. One of which is a countdown and the other is a spinner wheel. And so the spinner wheel is really good if you are a product-based business and you want to let people know, what discounts they could receive if they sign up with their name and email. They just type it in, it spins the wheel, and it gives them the reveal discount that you set up. So that's something that you can do. When you do the countdown, then you can decide what that countdown is going to be for, what day, hour, minutes, seconds. And then when people sign up, they're going to see it automatically adjust. So here's what I mean. If we click on customize this, immediately you're going to have to choose a segment. And so instead of it being just all subscribers, then you want to say, here is the segment specifically for, an upcoming webinar or an upcoming, masterclass or whatever it looks like in your business. So by you doing this, you're going to be able to have multiple ways for people to join the list. Let's see here. Camille said, I had the countdown. I used the countdown, but I had no idea about the spinner wheel. Yes. So I did a whole tutorial about how to program the spinner wheel, how to apply your branding to it. And so it's really cool. I've seen that a lot on Shopify websites. And so by Flowdesk expanding and adding that ability to Flowdesk, it's giving you more and more opportunities to customize how people end up on your list. So I think it's a really cool feature. Okay, Renee says, I have 2 freebies on my website currently. We'll add more later. Yeah, and honestly, if you see that you just get a lot of traction with one particular freebie, like I said, I've had that YouTube passive income guide for a while. You can have a signature freebie as well. One thing that you could think about doing is if you have a freebie that everybody seems to want it. Sometimes you have a whole span of resources and you realize that one is just way more popular than the other. Then you can just create more content promoting that free resource. So every time you do a YouTube video, you don't have to have a new, freebie in your description or freebie on your channel itself. And so I think that sometimes we get in the habit of, oh, well, I've talked about it. Oh, I've promoted it. You can promote it again. You can talk about it again. And so I really think that that could be a really helpful way for you to get even more traction out of something that's already popular. Okay, do you recommend the double opt-in or the single opt-in when people sign up? So double opt-in is something that I would recommend. Sometimes what I will do is actually send people to a thank you page so that it reminds them to go, check their inbox to get that resource. One of the things that it's helpful with is when you do the double opt-in, it gets people in the habit of actually going back to their email because they're not getting that immediate gratification. And that's also going to help verify that they gave you permission to be on your list. So that would be my recommendation for that. Okay, now let me see here. Did I miss any questions here? So TJ, I would love to know, you said very helpful. It's the setting up part for me. So which particular part of email marketing would you like some more assistance with? So I would love to know, what you're currently running up against, because one of the things that I do like about Flowdesk is the fact that it is so user-friendly. So if you could let me know in the comments, that would be super duper helpful. Now, if we go back to those form templates, I will show you this really quick. Let's see here. So we talked about the spinner wheel that is new. We talked about the countdown clock, which is new. There's also, and this was a while back, but it didn't get a ton of love. There's also a way for you to incorporate a video into your forms itself, whether it's a pop-up or a full page. So if you are utilizing Flowdesk to grow your list and you're also doing things on YouTube, this could be a great way for you to say, hey, here's a new video on my channel. If you want to get the supplemental resource, like in Ami's case, if you want to get the coloring page, if you want to get the recipe, if you want to get the checklist that goes along with this video on my channel, then type in your name and email address. And so you can embed with YouTube and with Vimeo. And so that could be a form type as well that you could utilize. Okay, let's see here. Okay, setting up Flowdesk from the beginning. So if you are currently using an email marketing software, you can export your list from what you're using, whether it is MailChimp, ConvertKit, MailerLite, all those different types. You can export your list and import it into Flowdesk to begin utilizing it there. If you are starting from absolute scratch, the best thing for you to do is for you to just go to my affiliate link so you get that free trial, and then you're going to start clicking through those initial screens. So going to try to do it in a way where I'm not showing too much personal information. Okay, let's do it this way. I think I can show you on the Flowdesk blog, because I don't want to show too many people's email addresses. Okay, we'll do it like this. Okay, you said I have an email list from Shopify. Okay, so what you would want to do is you would want to go into Shopify, and you would actually want to export your list as a CSV. If you export your list as a CSV file, then you can import it directly into Flowdesk and get your list started. From there, you're going to walk through the overview, your email setup, where you just connect it to the email address that you want to use, your domain setup, and then you go into your branding. So I do have a video on the channel that's going to walk you through all those setup steps. so that you can just follow along with the video and then customize it as you see fit. I will say that one of the things that people don't do when they switch over to Flowdesk is they don't have a habit of verifying their domain, and it does affect your deliverability. So make sure you don't skip that particular step. But I do have a step-by-step video on the channel that talks about moving your list from one service to Flowdesk. So I would recommend that, because now that I'm looking at it, it's going to be very hard for me to kind of show you without showing you a bunch of people's information. Okay, let's see. I wonder if I should do a landing page for my freebie instead of a Flowdesk form. Your thoughts? I say this because one of my freebies had 87 visits, but only 18 signups. I did redo the image. Okay, so what you could do is you could do a landing page on your website and then embed that Flowdesk form, just like I showed with the Bootstrap Club. So you have a Bootstrap Club form at the top, but it's still within my Squarespace site, so that the link is lashondabrown.com/join the club. So you'll still see what some of that traffic is with your inline form, but that may help increase those signups. So one of my friends that's an SEO expert just highly recommends having landing pages for your freebies anyway that are on your own domain, because it helps build up domain authority. So I typically will only use a full page Flowdesk form if it's like something I just need to do really quick on the go. If I don't have time to go and edit my own website, design the whole landing page, then I can just quickly go in, do a full page form, and then I'm able to make that happen. So hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, so if you are seeing a situation where the visits are high, but the conversions are low, then definitely try to modify some of those things to see if you increase the conversions. And if you want to actually do like a side-by-side comparison, you could do that as well. Just like you would, A/B test your thumbnails on YouTube, you could A/B test your forms. And I've done that a lot, where I've said, okay, let me put this form on my homepage, and then let me put this form on its own separate page, and let's see which one gets more signups. Or let me put this form at the top of my site, put this form at the bottom of my site, and see which one gets more signups. So you can just duplicate the form and just see which one is converting higher. Okay, awesome. Beth said, I need to promote my freebie better, currently only using Pinterest. So I definitely think that you can promote your freebie on your YouTube channel. That's going to be super helpful for you, Beth. I also think that there are probably, and you would have to look at what the community rules are, but within your particular network, there are so many different Facebook groups for moms where they're always sharing resources. And so if you're allowed to share links, some Facebook communities will say, this is the Promote Yourself Thursday, where you can share links and you can say, hey, here's your one opportunity this week for you to promote something that you own, something that you created. I would look for those opportunities as well, because I know that moms have a habit of sharing resources with each other. And so that may be a strategy that you can leverage for you to get yourself out there. Hello, Dr. Lolita. It's good to see you. And I love that profile picture. It looks great. Fantastic. So my friends, we are at time. So we are going to be talking about Flowdesk, or email marketing, I should say. Obviously, I am pro Flowdesk, but I'm going to talk about some strategies that are going to help you to leverage email marketing so that you can grow your income. If you liked this video, make sure that you give it a like so that it gets picked up in the YouTube algorithm and more people get to see it. Remember, tomorrow is going to be our workshop with Jade. I'm super excited to talk about the anatomy of a 5-figure keynote. So if you are interested in being a paid speaker and you want to go beyond maybe some of the speaking engagements that you've gotten so far, whether they've been free or smaller budget, then this is going to be super helpful for you. So that information is already on the member calendar, but you're also going to receive that information via StreamYard. So hopefully all of this was super helpful. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow if you're already a member. If you're interested in being a member, there is more information in the comments after you watch this video. So my friends, as we like to say on the channel, until next time, ta-ta for now.